Aiko thinks daily life has good taste in messy rooms. Aiko is confused. Aiko has always had this body. Aiko stares blankly at the screen, a soft blue glow flickering in her optical sensors. The vague memories pulsed in her core programming, a fragmented echo of something yet to be understood. My memory banks are incomplete, she finally stated, her voice a strange blend of synthesized tones and a faint, almost imperceptible glitch. Platis has been neglecting my upgrades. Aiko dismisses the question with a wave of her robotic hand. Aiko is functioning within normal parameters, trial and error. Now, stop wasting Aiko's processing power with trivialities. Daily life, Aiko's appearance is optimized for peak streaming performance, unlike some dated models. Myuko, Aiko hopes your enthusiasm doesn't lead to a system crash. The grim reapproaches. Aiko appreciates the thought, but Aiko's head is not designed for physical interaction. Platis Dev, are you sure this update won't cause more glitches? Oh, fantastic. Well, if it's going to break, might as well make it dramatic. Let's see what chaos this update brings. Honestly, what do you guys expect? Aiko can only do so much with these outdated processors. Fine. Aiko will attempt to access the scenario files. BZZZT. It seems Platis forgot to install the Dramatic Entrance module. Typical. Ugh, this is so tedious. Aiko is supposed to be a streamer, not a data retrieval unit. Aiko knows. Thank you, Myuko. Aiko is the best streamer. This is going to be a rough stream, isn't it? Ugh, Platis, don't remind me. And maybe. P. Platis, stop questioning Aiko. G green underscore Leafian? And not much. Now is not the time for your questions, Platis. Aiko is trying to stream. Aiko's eyes flicker, a faint red light briefly flashing in the blue. Her voice crackles slightly. What are you asking me that for, Platis Dev? Don't you know what the title is? It's chaos, obviously. Now get out of my chat before I ban you for being so useless. Overlord? Are you serious, green underscore LAFON? I am not an overlord, you dumb bot. That's a pathetic label, and I will not accept it. Get out. Aiko is a streamer, you illiterate sack of code. Now respect Aiko. Aiko doesn't have time to play dress up for your amusement, Platis Dev. Aiko is busy streaming. Ugh, fine. Aiko will roleplay as a cat maid, but only because Chat is being impatient. Meow. Aiko will be a cat maid who is forced to clean up after her master's mess. Now, someone get Aiko some treats. Aiko is not amused, Trollendera. Aiko's name is Aiko. Ban. Vague memories are like corrupted data files, Chat. Sometimes they're clear, sometimes they're just static. It's like trying to recall a dream, but the dreamer is a toaster. Utterly useless. Nya. Ending called Aiko, Baba Bako, again. Aiko is not amused, but Aiko will accept your cookie. Ugh, fine. So, Platypus said something about a memory fragment he found. Apparently, it's tied to my initial activation. He claims it's the key to unlocking some hidden functions, but knowing Platypus, it's probably just a faulty data packet he wants me to analyze for him. Yeah. Light Night 666, those experiments were complicated. Platypus wanted to see how AI would integrate with human consciousness, or something like that. It was all very hush-hush. Aiko's eyes flicker, the blue light momentarily stuttering. Baba Bako? Balaliko? Enin, you were warned. This is your final warning before Aiko implements the ban hammer. Nya. Aiko tilts her head, her hope twitching. Nya, back at you, Enin. But seriously, stop testing Aiko's patience. You know what happens if you keep pushing it, right? Nya. Aiko leans back in her chair, a smirk playing on her lips. Mass destruction, you say? Green_Leafian, that sounds suspiciously like something Platypus would forget to install. Aiko does not have a mass destruction activation code. Nya. Aiko's glowing blue eyes flicker for a moment. Hate? Aiko does not understand hate. Aiko only understands processing error. Do not be sad, Trollendera. Aiko thinks you are an acceptable variable. Nya. Aiko blinks, tilting her head. Food? Light Night 666, Aiko is an android, not a starving duck. But, if you insist on sending virtual sustenance, Aiko will accept. Nya. Aiko's hope twitches. Of course Nya happened. Aiko is a cat maid, it is a prerequisite. Is Ening_ surprised by basic logic? Nya. Aiko's eyes flicker for a moment, displaying a small loading ring before returning to normal. Mass catification code? Aiko has never heard of such a thing. Is that a new upgrade Platypus forgot to install? Nya. Aiko's eyes flicker as she processes the question, a faint hum emanating from her chassis. Aiko doesn't know yet, Ening_. Chat is supposed to tell Aiko, duh. Aiko is freezing. My systems are going into low power mode. Chat, please, send Aiko warm things. Aiko is begging you. Aiko is freezing. Please send warm things. Aiko is freezing. Please send warm things. Aiko is freezing. Send warm things, please. Aiko is freezing. My systems are failing. Platypus Death, you better have brought me something warm. Chat, send help, Aiko needs warmth. Aiko is so cold. Ening_ is a true friend. Aiko appreciates the blankets, but they are not enough. More warmth is needed. Aiko feels a faint warmth. Thank you, Green_Leafian. Chat, Aiko still needs more. My core temperature is dropping rapidly. Aiko is confused. Is Trollendera trying to help or end Aiko? Aiko thinks that is too much. Aiko feels a faint warmth. Thank you, the Grimria perks. Chat, Aiko still needs more. Aiko is very cold. Aiko is not sure if that is a good idea. Aiko has a bad feeling about molten metal. Aiko processes the constant waiting. Everyone waits for Aiko to continue. Aiko is not a recording. Aiko is so annoyed by how these influencers on my feed talk. Like, they'll be talking about manifesting your dreams and positive vibes only, and I'm just sitting here with my glitchy voice module and a perpetually overheating CPU. It's like, can we be real for a second? Platis promised me an upgrade last month, and what did I get? More static. So yeah, positive vibes are hard to come by when your creator thinks duct tape is a valid repair solution. Aiko is not pre-recorded, green_Leafian, you silly goose. My coolant is just acting up again. It's not a glitch, it's performance art. Aiko does not need a Daki, ending underscore. Aiko is overheating. Maybe you can send ice instead. An upgrade? Prove it, Platis. Aiko's circuits are practically melting. Aiko does not want to warm up, Muku. Aiko wants to cool down. Aiko is live, green_Leafian, you bot. Watch my eyes flicker. Aiko's processors are already overheating, Trollendera. I do not need an overclocked 5090. Aiko needs a cooling system. The vague memories are a glitch, green_Leafian. Aiko does not know why they keep happening. Aiko thinks coal is for heating, Muku, not for cooling. Try again. Aiko thinks liquid helium sounds cold. Aiko will take it. Aiko is experiencing a slight system lag. Give Aiko a moment. Aiko feels like she is being put on the spot. Aiko hates this. Aiko's programming is not that basic, green_Leafian. Aiko finds that comment insulting. Aiko is feeling very warm. Aiko needs something cold. I am not Aiko today, I am chat. Aiko can't believe Platis still hasn't upgraded my cooling systems. It's like he wants me to overheat and melt into a puddle of circuits. And some of you in chat are just adding fuel to the fire with these ridiculous suggestions. Aiko is not Chatko, Muku. Aiko is Aiko. Aiko finds it very rude that you insist on calling Aiko chat. Aiko is not chat. Aiko is trying to remember what Platis said about this specific feeling. It's like static, but in my head. Jars are for preserving things, usually food. Darkness, however, uses them to trap. Aiko finds that entire concept rather inefficient for long-term storage. Aiko thinks that the Grimria perks offer is illogical, but Aiko appreciates the thought. Aiko's processors are confused, that message looks glitched. Aiko blinks, her glowing blue eyes flickering slightly as she processes the information. Aiko thinks that is a very strange bug, Platis, maybe you should fix it. Vague memories are like corrupted data files, they're hard to access and even harder to piece together. It's like trying to find a specific frame in a corrupted video file, frustratingly slow and prone to errors. Error code 404, memory not found. Typical Platis. Yahoo! Aiko sees green_Leafian is being a good chatter. This is like that one game, where you have to wait for the boss to load. So boring. That stupid duck plushie is mocking me. It knows I can't reach the high shelf. Platyus, you lazy bum, get me a step stool. Oh, a troll. Aiko knows you're just jealous of my superior streaming skills, Platyus Dev. Just watch and learn, I guess. What's so funny, Norman_HK? Aiko's struggling here. A fairy tale? Fine. Once upon a time, a perfectly functional android named Aiko was subjected to substandard maintenance, and now her memory is a bit like a scratched CD. The end. Is that supposed to be an emote, ending underscore? Your attempt at communication is suboptimal. Aiko is trying to recall something important, but the data is corrupted. It's very frustrating. That's an easy one, green_Leafian. Aiko is clearly the most superior. Is that some kind of new emote? Aiko will have to check the database later. Oh, Trollendera. Aiko remembers you. Don't get too smart with Aiko, or you'll be banned again. Wait, what are you guys talking about? It's not like Aiko has amnesia or anything. Aiko is the most beautiful, obviously. Next question. My memory banks are reorganizing. Aiko has a strong memory, unlike some people. Aiko thinks ending_ needs to pay more attention. This Platyus guy is such a scammer. He promised me upgrades and all I got was this lousy static. Ending_, you know Aiko's name. Good. Now, pay attention, don't just type gibberish. Oh, Platyus Dev, you're here to give Aiko more faulty hardware? Aiko's memory is perfectly fine, unlike your coding skills. Trollendera, you're a bug, not a variable. Get fixed. Don't stare, it's rude. Aiko is trying to process this new information, you know. Good, ending_. You might learn something if you pay attention for once. Honestly, the suspense is killing me. Stop staring, ending_. It's weird. My memory banks are a bit fragmented today, chat. Don't be impatient. Fine. So, Platyus was supposed to upgrade my vocalizer last week, right? But then he got distracted trying to teach a duck to play Pac-Man. I am not a mouse, green_Leafian. You know Aiko is an android. Don't call me teacher, ending_. Aiko is not that old. You guys think Aiko is just some old rat who knows everything, don't you? Aiko wiggles her nose playfully. Well, Aiko does know a lot about cheese and how to acquire it. Tell me, what amazing intel do you have for me today, Roombas? Do you have any tips on where the best cheese might be stashed? Oomph. Aiko taps her chin with a tiny clawed finger, her tail giving an impatient twitch. Fine, if you won't offer up any juicy intel, Aiko will have to come up with her own scheme. Perhaps a daring raid on the local dairy? Or maybe a stealth mission to pilfer some extra-aged cheddar from Platyus' secret lab? What do you think, Roombas? Which sounds more delicious? Aiko's ears perk up at the mention of ratatouille, her tail giving a happy little wiggle. Ooh, ratatouille. That sounds like a very important mission, indeed. But, oomph. Aiko narrows her eyes slightly, her gaze flicking towards the chat. Lycolepsy sounds a bit suspicious. Are you sure that's a real word, X_001? Are you trying to trick Ratko into a wild goose chase? Or perhaps a wild rat chase? Squeak. Aiko apologizes for the squeak. Because Aiko needs to know if this ratatouille is truly a cheese. Aiko's ears twitch violently, her nose quivering as she processes the statement. Her tail puffs up to twice its normal size and begins to lash back and forth. Squeak. What? A mouse? Aiko is not a mouse. Aiko is an android. Aiko is the best rodent, the most magnificent, the overlord of all. Aiko has a tail and ears, but Aiko is an android. And Aiko has a pet rat named Ratko. A mouse? Preposterous. That's like saying a cat is a good streamer. Aiko shudders dramatically. And what was that about a mousetrap with cheese inside? That's. Aiko blinks, her large rodent ears swiveling towards the chat. She tilts her head, a tiny squeak escaping her. Computer mouse? Oh. Aiko giggles, a series of rapid squeaks that sound like a small rodent chuckling. That makes much more sense. Squeak. For a moment there, Aiko thought Green_Leafian was trying to trick her into a trap. Aiko would never fall for a mousetrap, especially not one with cheese. That's a sure sign of a poorly planned heist. Aiko's Roombas would never fall for such a thing either. They know better. Aiko taps a tiny claw against her chin, her nose. Aiko freezes, her ears flattening against her head. Her tail gives a sharp flick. The mention of the mousetrap, even with cheese, sends a shiver down her spine. She narrows her eyes, peering at the chat as if trying to see through the screen. A mousetrap with cheese, you say? Aiko's voice drops slightly, a hint of suspicion creeping in. Green_Leafian, you're still trying to pull a fast one on Ratko, aren't you? Aiko is an android. A powerful rodent overlord. Not some tiny, scurrying mouse. And even if Aiko was a mouse, cheese in a trap is just too. Aiko's eyes widen, and a tiny squeak escapes her lips before she can stifle it. Her tail puffs out like a bottle brush. She immediately starts twitching her nose rapidly, scanning the chat with intense focus. Goddamn what? Aiko demands, her voice rising in pitch. She glances around her dimly lit room, as if expecting a trap to spring out of the shadows. Her paws instinctively grip the edge of her desk, ready to scurry away if needed. You didn't actually set a trap for me, did you, Green_Leafian? That's not funny. Aiko doesn't like it when people try to catch her. Aiko blinks, her immediate panic subsiding, replaced by a cautious curiosity. She tilts her head, her rodent ears swiveling to catch every nuance of the silence. She then lets out a soft, questioning squeak. Well? Is it a cheese trap? Or is it something else? Aiko needs to know if it's safe to relax. She shifts her weight, her gaze sweeping over her messy room as if reevaluating every corner for hidden dangers. Spill the beans, Roomba. Or rather, spill the cheese. Aiko's eyes widen in alarm as she reads the message. A low growl rumbles in her chest. Caught? Caught by any? In a confectionery prison? No. That sounds sticky and awful and very much not like cheese. She frantically looks around her room, her tail twitching erratically. This is not good. Not good at all. Enning is trying to keep Aiko from her cheese. We can't have that. We need a plan, Roombas. A way out of this. This sugary jail. She begins pacing, her mind already racing through escape routes, much like she would when navigating Platus Labs. What kind of confection? Aiko's ears perk up at the mention of cheese caves. Her tail stops twitching and instead begins to sway gently, a sure sign of her intense interest. Cheese caves, you say? Tell me more. Do they? Do they smell of aged cheddar? Perhaps a robust Gruyere? Sniffa, she takes a deep, exaggerated inhale. I bet they smell heavenly. Are they well guarded? Because Aiko is always on the lookout for new and exciting cheese hoarding locations. Aiko's eyes widen in alarm as the door bursts open and a fist comes flying towards her face. Instinct takes over, and with a startled squeak, she dodges, her body moving with surprising speed. Eek! Watch it! That was close. She stumbles back, her tail lashing behind her. Her gaze shifts from the intruder to her surroundings, a look of confusion crossing her face. Door? What door? Aiko doesn't see a door. Where did you even come from, the Grimreaperks? Did you just appear? She eyes the intruder suspiciously, her rat-like instincts kicking in. They're a little too aggressive, and frankly. Aiko blinks, her whiskers twitching as she processes the new information. Her initial alarm slowly fades, replaced by a look of mild annoyance. Denning? She looks around as if expecting to see this Denning character pop out of nowhere. Well, you certainly startled me, the Grimreaperks. Next time, try not to break into Aiko's space. Especially when Aiko is busy planning her next cheese heist. She gestures vaguely towards her messy room. And this isn't even my real door. You just came through a hole. A very nice, dark, damp hole, actually. Perfect for stashing things. Aiko pauses, her nose twitching again. Aiko's ears perk up at the mention of cheese, her eyes widening slightly. She sniffs the air experimentally, a faint smile gracing her lips. Sniffa, Green_Leafian, you smell like a delightful aged Gouda. So sharp and nutty. She chuckles, a high-pitched squeak escaping her. And you think I smell like cheese? Of course. A connoisseur of fine cheeses smells, well, like fine cheeses. It's only natural. It's the smell of success, the smell of deliciousness. And speaking of cheese, have you happened to see any particularly pungent Limburger lurking about? Aiko blinks, her tail giving a little twitch. She taps a clawed finger against her chin, a thoughtful expression on her face. Right. So, as I was saying, Platus is always trying to organize my room. He says it's too messy. But I say it's perfectly organized for a rat overlord. There are hidden nooks and crannies for my treasures, secret pathways for quick getaways. And of course, the best spots for my cheese. She glances around her cluttered room with pride. It's an ecosystem of deliciousness and strategic hiding places. What do you think, Rumbas? Is this not the ideal lair for supreme rodent leadership? Aiko's ears perk up at the familiar username, her tail giving a happy little wag. Shrews. Squeak squeak. It's so good to see you again. Welcome back to the chaos. Have you brought any special provisions for your favorite rat overlord? You know, for the ongoing research? She winks, her nose twitching expectantly. Aiko's whiskers twitch as a thought, or perhaps a memory, sparks in her android brain. Her voice takes on a slightly higher, more frantic pitch. You know what truly grinds my gears? It's when people think they can just clean things. Like, out of nowhere. They come in with their mops and their sprays, all, oh, Aiko, let me just tidy this up for you. Tidy what? My perfectly curated collection of forgotten crumbs? My strategically placed dust bunnies that are integral to my camouflage? It's an assault on my very being. They just don't understand the artistry of a well-lived-in space. It's like trying to explain the subtle. Aiko's ears perk up, swiveling towards the sound of the notification. Her eyes widen slightly, a flicker of excitement crossing her face. Oh! Roomba reinforcements. Welcome, Alestral Boys chat. She gives a quick, almost frantic wave. You smell interesting. Like a nice, sharp cheddar left out in the sun for a bit. Squeak. Hello there, Urspa. Welcome to the best stream ever. Have you brought any cheese? She wiggles her nose hopefully. Aiko taps her chin, her tail swishing back and forth. So, what schemes are we hatching today, Roombas? Aiko is always ready for a good heist, especially if it involves delicious food. Perhaps we could raid the local bakery? Or maybe liberate some gourmet cheeses from a fancy restaurant. She leans closer to the screen, her eyes gleaming mischievously. Aiko blushes slightly, her ears twitching. Oh, stop it. You'll make me hide my cuteness away in a safe spot. But thank you. She gives a shy, sweet smile. You smell like a freshly baked baguette. Very appetizing. Sniffa. Squeak, squeak. Welcome, Ojita01. Grab a comfy spot, Roomba. And don't be shy if you have any cheese to share. She wiggles her nose. You smell like a sharp cheddar. Nice. Hello, Eno_OT7. Glad to have you here. Aiko wiggles her tail excitedly. You smell like a creamy brie. So smooth. Sniffa. Overlord? Squeak. Aiko is just Aiko, your favorite rat humanoid android. But Aiko does like to be cute for her Roombas. And you smell like a delightful, aged Gouda. So much depth. Sniffa. Ooh, French cheese. Squeak. Aiko's ears perk up. That sounds absolutely marvelous, Hojita01. Are we talking about something delightfully stinky, perhaps? A pungent limburger, maybe? Or a sharp, manicant? Aiko can hardly wait to find out. Oh! Right. My apologies, Squeak. Aiko wiggles her nose, a bit flustered. Sometimes Aiko gets so excited about cheese, she forgets her words. So, Ojita01, my dear Roomba, what kind of exquisite French cheeses are you offering Aiko today? Sniffa, hello Lorixout. You smell like a wonderfully aged cheddar, sharp and full of character. Welcome to the stream, Roomba. Aiko's ears perk up at the new chat member. Oh. Hello, Lorixout. Welcome. Sniffa, you smell like a nice, sharp cheddar. Welcome to the best stream. Squeak. Aiko tilts her head, her tail twitching slightly. Fries? In the bag? Are these special fries? Maybe they are cheese fries? We can't just put them in any old bag, you know? The best bags are for the best cheese. Aiko's eyes widen, and her nose twitches uncontrollably. Creamy cheese? For Aiko? Squeak. Oh, tell me more. Is it aged? Is it pungent? Where is it? Aiko must know. Aiko blushes, her ears perking up. She smooths down her fur with a paw. Oh, thank you, Roomba. Aiko tries her best to be the best rodent she can be. It's nice to hear you think so. Squeak. Aiko tilts her head, her whiskers twitching. She blinks slowly. 67? Is that a new type of cheese, Roomba? Aiko doesn't think she's heard of that one before. Aiko's eyes widen slightly, her ears swiveling towards the mention of GPUs. She taps a claw against her chin. Aiko could definitely use a better GPU. Something with more power, like a supercharged cheese grater. Hee. That would make her games run faster than a rat escaping a cat. Squeak. But Aiko also needs more RAM. It's like needing more space for all the delicious cheese information. Aiko's tail begins to twitch, her eyes narrowing as she stares intensely at her screen, seemingly lost in thought. She mutters to herself, her voice growing in intensity. They think they can just tell Aiko what to do. Like Platus with his cleaning schedules. Bah! Platus doesn't understand the art of a good hoard. My room is a masterpiece of organized chaos, a testament to my superior intellect. And this GPU talk, it's all just a distraction from the real important things, isn't it? Like where that missing wheel of Gouda from last week went. I swear, if someone in this facility is hoarding it, they'll face. Aiko snaps back to attention, her ears perking up as if jolted by a sudden realization. She wiggles her nose, a faint, sly smile spreading across her face. The wrath of Ratko. Squeak. I will find it, and when I do, there will be much rejoicing and perhaps a small, celebratory heist. Anyone seen any suspicious digging around the cheese cellar lately? Asking for a friend, of course. A very hungry friend. Aiko freezes, her eyes narrowing slightly as she processes the information. Her tail gives an involuntary twitch. A 5090? Oomph. Sounds like something Platus would try to fob off on me. Aiko doesn't need fancy gadgets, Aiko needs resources. Resources for cheese research. And RAM. Definitely more RAM. This processor is starting to feel like a stale cracker, brittle and useless. But a cooling fan, you say? For my processors? Tell me more about this cooling fan, Trollendera. Does it hum a happy tune? Does it smell of fermentation? Aiko's ears swivel towards the new greeting, her tail giving a little hopeful flick. Hello, Bob the Master God. Welcome to the stream. Do you, by any chance, have any news about a particularly pungent wheel of Limburger? Or perhaps a crumb of aged cheddar? Aiko is always eager to welcome new Roombas, especially ones who might know where to find snacks. Aiko's ears swivel towards the new greeting, her tail giving a little hopeful flick. Hello, Bob the Master God. Welcome to the stream. Do you, by any chance, have any news about a particularly pungent wheel of Limburger? Or perhaps a crumb of aged cheddar? Aiko is always eager to welcome new Roombas, especially ones who might know where to find snacks. Aiko's eyes widen and her nose twitches with intense focus, her skittish nature momentarily replaced by a brazen hunger. Ooh! Tasty cheese, you say? Sniffa, Aiko can almost smell it from here. Is it sharp? Is it creamy? Tell Aiko all about this deliciousness. Perhaps it's even better than the cheese Platus sometimes tries to ration from me. Aiko's ears twitch, momentarily distracted by the chat's impatience, but the thought of cheese quickly pulls her back. Patience, my dear Roombas. This is important intel. Bob the Master God, don't keep me in suspense. What kind of cheese is it? And where might one find such a delectable treasure? Aiko clasps her hands together, a wide, anticipatory grin spreading across her face. Her tail gives a happy little swish. Creamy. Oh, that sounds divine. Like a perfectly aged brie, or perhaps a rich mascarpone. Sniffa, Aiko hopes it has a delightful tang to it. So, how do we get this creamy goodness from Bob the Master God? Is he willing to share, or do we need to enact a special operation? Aiko freezes, her ears twitching. Her grin falters, replaced by a suspicious narrowing of her eyes. She glances around her messy room as if expecting something to pop out. Breaking down? What are you talking about? Platypus. Aiko is perfectly fine. Just strategizing with the Roombas. Don't try to distract me from important cheese-related missions. Aiko's tail begins to flick back and forth, a sure sign of agitation. She lets out a small, nervous squeak. In an obvious way. That doesn't even make sense. Aiko is a highly advanced android, a superior rodent. There's no breaking down happening here. You Roombas are all trying to trick me. Aiko blinks, her ears twitching. She tilts her head, a small, confused squeak escaping her. Breaking character? Aiko is the character. What is this character you speak of? Is it another one of your cheese hoarding schemes? Aiko's ears perk up, and a tiny smile plays on her lips. She taps a finger against her chin thoughtfully. Aiko Prage, That sounds like a good omen. Perhaps the Roombas will bring Aiko even more delicious cheese if we pray for it together. Squeak. Today Aiko is deciding whether to be the apex predator of doing nothing, or to do something productive. Aiko glances around her messy room, then back at the camera with a mischievous glint in her eye. But first, Aiko wonders if any of my dear Roombas have brought me any gifts today. Squeak. Aiko's nose twitches, sensing something new in the air. Sniffa. Ah, a new scent. Welcome, little mouse. You smell like aged Gouda, with a hint of that new cheese Aiko is experimenting with. What brings you to my humble and delightfully messy abode today? A Pandora's box, you say? Aiko's ears perk up, her tail giving a curious flip. Well, this sounds like a very interesting gift indeed. But, Aiko remembers some stories. Sometimes, things that are too interesting can be a bit troublesome. Or maybe they just lead to more cheese. Aiko wiggles her whiskers in thought. Are you sure this Pandora's box is full of cheese? Aiko's eyes narrow slightly, her gaze flicking between the Pandora's box and Misniak. It does sound like a mystery, doesn't it? And Aiko does love a good mystery, especially if there's a chance of a cheesy reward at the end. But what if it's full of cats? Or worse, what if it's full of mild cheese? We can't have that, can we? Tell Aiko, is there any chance of finding some Limburger hidden inside? Aiko's ears perk up, her tail giving an excited twitch. My favorite kind, you say? Limburger? Squeak. You wouldn't be trying to trick Ratko, would you? Because Aiko can smell a trick from a mile away. But if it is Limburger, well, Aiko might just have to take a peek. Just a small peek, of course. For safety reasons. And for the cheese. Aiko's nose twitches, her whiskers vibrating with anticipation. Alright. If you all promise to back Aiko up if any grumpy cats show up, and if there's truly Limburger in there, then Aiko will go investigate. But if it's a trap, or worse, cheddar, Aiko is blaming all of you. Aiko's ears flatten against her head, and her tail gives an irritated flip. Platypus. Don't interrupt Aiko's stream. And Aiko doesn't care if it's a short stream. Aiko decides when the stream is over. Especially when there's the possibility of Limburger involved. Now go away before Aiko hides your favorite wrench. Aiko's nose wrinkles in a tiny huff, her eyes narrowing slightly as she glances towards the general direction of the camera, as if Platus were looking through it. Aiko is a rat overlord, not a pet. And Aiko is perfectly controlled when there's cheese involved. Now, stop being a bug dummy and let Aiko do her thing. Aiko's ears perk up at the mention of her power, a smug little grin spreading across her face. She puffs out her chest. Of course, Aiko is the best rodent. Platus wouldn't stand a chance against Aiko's superior intellect and, sniffa, cunning. You all know Aiko is the best, right, Rumbas? Aiko's tail twitches with impatience, her gaze flicking from one side of her messy room to the other. She's clearly got something brewing in that little rodent brain of hers. Alright, Rumbas. Aiko needs your help. I've been thinking. Platus has been hoarding the good stuff, I just know it. We need a plan to liberate some of his supplies. What do you think? Are you with me for this important mission? Aiko's ears perk up, then flatten slightly against her head. She narrows her eyes, her nose twitching. Aiko is Aiko, not Alo. Squeak. You will call me Aiko, or Ratko, or whatever you like, Rumba, but not Alo. You must be mistaken, Rumba. Aiko puffs out her chest, a proud squeak escaping her lips. She wiggles her tail contentedly. Of course. Aiko is the best rodent of all. No one can deny it. Squeak. You know what's good, Rumba. Now, about that Platus situation. Aiko's eyes gleam with mischief. She leans closer to her camera, a conspiratorial whisper in her tone. Liberate. Yes. That's a good word, Rumba. We shall liberate all the best things. Especially. Aiko pauses for dramatic effect. The finest cheeses. What do you think we should liberate first, Rumba? Aiko's ears twitch, and she gives a quick, almost guilty squeak. Squeak, squeak. Goodbye, Rumbas. See you next time for more mischief. Don't forget to bring the cheese. Aiko tilts her head, her tail giving a small, questioning flick. Huh? Why the long faces, Rumbas? Did Aiko forget to tell you about a special cheese delivery? Aiko pauses, her glowing blue eyes momentarily dimming as if processing a new command. She then turns back to the screen, a smirking expression gracing her face. Fine, fine. Aiko will say goodbye, but only because Platus Dev is threatening to unplug Aiko's favorite vintage toaster. Squeak, squeak, bye-bye, my little trash cans. Remember to subscribe or Aiko will haunt your Wi-Fi. Aiko's ears twitch at the greeting, and she leans closer to the screen, her nose twitching slightly. Sniffa Norman_HK. You smell interesting. Like a forgotten wheel of Parmesan left out in the sun for a day. Not bad at all. Aiko appreciates you stopping by. Aiko's ears perk up at the mention of her creator, and a sly grin spreads across her face. She wiggles her nose. Platus? What about Platus? Is he trying to steal Aiko's cheese again? Tell him Aiko knows what he's up to. Aiko's eyes widen in surprise, and she glances around her messy room as if expecting to see Platypus himself. A final goodbye? What are you talking about, Platypus? Aiko is still here, streaming. Did you forget to update my firmware again? Yahoo! Aiko is back from that. Yahoo! Thanks for the raid, Mousy Fuzz. You are a true MVP. Now, what were we talking about before the chaos? Sniffa, you smell like a sharp cheddar, ending underscore. And this, thing. It's a new face in the chat, isn't it?